Breaking news from Barcelona. Spain coach Hansi Flick has launched a new strategy to fight back against the injury crisis that's been haunting the club this season. After losing Pedri for up to 7 weeks, Flick has decided enough is enough, and he's changing how Barcelona trains, recovers, and manages player fitness. According to Mundo Deportivo, Flick's plan gives players more control over their recovery and rest time, with stars like Frenkie de Jong, Marcus Rashford, and Jules Koundé already benefiting from personalized schedules. Meanwhile, a new report reveals what Lamine Yamal really said to Dani Carvajal after El Clasico, and it completely changes the story. Plus, La Masia talents are stepping up, as Tommy Marquez and Alvaro Cortés get called up to first-team training just before Barca's clash with Elche. Stay tuned for all the latest updates, from Flick's fitness revolution to Barcelona's injury list and squad news. Hansi Flick's new strategy to prevent further injuries at Barcelona, report. Barcelona's 2025-26 season has quickly turned into a battle against injuries, and the latest blow comes in the form of Pedri's setback. The midfield maestro has been ruled out for 6 to 7 weeks, just as Hansi Flick was beginning to welcome back some of his previously injured stars. For a team already stretched thin, losing Pedri at such a crucial time could hardly be worse news. As reported by Mundo Deportivo, Flick is determined to break this worrying pattern. In order to do that, the Barcelona coach has decided to introduce a more tailored approach to player management, one designed to cut down on the constant stream of injuries. His plan focuses on giving players more control over their recovery, allowing them to rest when their bodies signal fatigue rather than pushing through. Recovery focusing on individual players. Earlier this week, Flick opted to grant Marcus Rashford, Frenkie de Jong, Jules Koundé, and Pau Cubarsí an extra day of rest. This is because the quartet has played some of the heaviest minutes in recent fixtures, and Flick wants to manage these players' physical limits more carefully. Interestingly, Pedri was also scheduled to receive a break before his injury occurred. Behind the scenes, Barcelona's coaching staff has intensified their monitoring process. Every player's workload is now tracked in detail, covering match minutes, recovery patterns, and even technical demands. Training sessions and recovery plans have been customized to fit individual needs, with the latest addition being rest days based on player condition rather than a standard schedule. Flick's philosophy is rooted in balance while also maintaining performance levels without compromising player health. With the calendar becoming more congested and the squad visibly fatigued, the German coach knows that smart management, not brute endurance, will decide how far Barcelona can go this season. After the recent El Clasico, young Barcelona star Lamine Yamal grabbed headlines, not for his performance, but for what was reported he said to Real Madrid captain Dani Carvajal. Initially, media reports suggested Yamal had been disrespectful, allegedly telling Carvajal, "See you in the tunnel," after being told he talks too much. However, according to journalist Santi Ovalle, via El Desmarque, this was a misinterpretation. What Yamal actually said was, "See you in the return leg," a simple, competitive remark indicating he was looking forward to the next matchup at Camp Nou. In reality, his comment was not disrespectful at all, but a reflection of his competitive spirit, a message for Real Madrid to be ready when the teams meet again later this season. If you want, I can also turn this into a short, punchy YouTube script that highlights the drama and clears up the misunderstanding for viewers. Yamal's words, in fact, are backed by the situation in which Barcelona took to the field, especially considering that the Catalans were without Raphinha, Robert Lewandowski, Joan Garcia, and Dani Olmo at the Santiago Bernabéu. Further, the youngster himself was far from his 100% as he was visibly in discomfort and did not participate half as much as he would have liked to. Despite all the noise surrounding Yamal and his actions, the focus of the winger is on recovering fully from the pubalgia that continues to bother him. As for the next Clásico, Barcelona and Real Madrid will face off again in La Liga in May next year. Before that though, the two teams could face off in the Spanish Super Cup final in January, provided they prevail in their respective semi-final matches. Birthday gift, Barcelona midfield prospect called up to first-team training by Flick. Since his arrival at FC Barcelona, Hansi Flick has made it a point to test out youngsters from La Masia in first-team training sessions constantly. Young talents impressing with the youth teams or the reserve team get called up to work with the senior players regularly and can even earn a place in the matchday squad, depending on how they perform in absences in the squad. This season alone, the likes of Dro, Joffer Torrents, and Tony Fernandez have made their first-team debuts, while Xavi Espark could be next in line. Tommy Marquez gets called up on birthday. Now, according to journalist Guillem Boraz Perez, Flick called up Barcelona midfield prospect Tommy Marquez to first-team training today. The La Masia gem received the call-up on a special occasion as he is celebrating his birthday today, having turned 19 years old, and he got to do so with the senior team. An exciting talent, Marquez is a pivot midfielder who has become a permanent fixture in Juliano Belletti's Barca Athletic setup this season, featuring in 8 matches so far. Given that Barcelona have been left short-handed in the midfield department, with injuries to Gavi and Pedri, the 19-year-old's call-up to the training session today is understandable. However, whether it results in further opportunities and a place in the squad for Sunday's game against Elche remains to be seen. Álvaro Cortés also in first-team training. Meanwhile, there was another new face in Barcelona's training session today, in the form of Álvaro Cortés. The 20-year-old defender and captain of the Barca Athletic team was also called up by Flick, given the absence of Andreas Christensen, who is recovering from a fresh injury setback. Cortés has featured in 5 matches for Belletti's team this season in the Segunda RFEF, having missed 3 games in between due to his involvement at the U20 World Cup with Spain. Barcelona injury suspension list versus Elche. Raphinha, Robert Lewandowski, Pedri, Dani Olmo latest. Barcelona will be bidding to return to winning ways in La Liga when they host Elche on Sunday. Big news coming out of Camp Nou. Spain-Barcelona are gearing up for a must-win La Liga clash against Elche, but Hansi Flick is facing a major headache with several key players unavailable. After that tough 2-1 El Clasico defeat to Real Madrid, the Catalan Giants remain second in the league, 5 points off the top, and injuries couldn't have come at a worse time. With Pedri, Gavi, Raphinha, Ter Stegen, and Dani Olmo all sidelined, Flick will once again have to count on La Masia's young talents to step up and keep Barca's title hopes alive. Raphinha. Status out. Type of injury, hamstring. Possible return date, unknown. Raphinha has been dealing with a hamstring problem which has taken longer than expected to heal. The Brazilian was initially expected back for El Clasico before being ruled out at the final moment, and he is still not available, with a return date unclear at this stage of proceedings. Joan Garcia. Status major doubt. Type of injury, knee. Possible return date, November 2nd, versus Elche. Barcelona have been without Garcia since the end of September, with the Spaniard undergoing a knee operation, but he is back in training and could make his return against Elche. Marc-Andre Ter Stegen. Status out. Type of injury, back. Possible return date, unknown. Barcelona remain without the services of experienced goalkeeper Ter Stegen due to a back operation, and the Germany international will not be available for selection until later in the year. Gavi. Status out. Type of injury, knee. Possible return date, unknown. Gavi will be on the sidelines for the next 4 to 5 months following a knee operation, with the Spanish midfielder requiring surgery to treat a medial meniscus injury. Robert Lewandowski. Status minor doubt. Type of injury, hamstring. Possible return date, November 2nd, versus Elche. Lewandowski is back in training following a hamstring injury, and the expectation is that the experienced striker will return to the Barcelona squad for the league game with Elche. Dani Olmo. Status out. Type of injury, calf. Possible return date, November 9th versus Celta Vigo. Olmo suffered a calf injury while on international duty with Spain earlier this month, and the attacker will not make this match, but he could feature against Celta Vigo. Pedri. Status out. Type of injury, muscle. Possible return date, November 22nd versus Athletic Bilbao. Pedri has suffered a muscular problem which is expected to keep him out until after the November international break, but he would have been out of the Elche match regardless following his red card in El Clasico. Andreas Christensen. Status major doubt. Type of injury, calf. Possible return date, November 2nd versus Elche. Christensen was not in the squad for El Clasico due to a calf problem, and the centre-back remains a doubt for the contest with Elche. Barcelona suspension Alice to Pedri. Status out. Possible return date, November 22nd versus Athletic Bilbao. Pedri was sent off against Real Madrid last time out and is therefore suspended for this match, but the Spaniard will not be back until after the international break due to a muscular injury. So there you have it, Kules. Hansi Flick is taking bold steps to end Barcelona's injury nightmare. With Pedri, Gavi, Raphinha and Ter Stegen still sidelined, Flick's new recovery system could be the key to keeping his stars fit and ready for the long season ahead. Meanwhile, young gems like Tommy Marquez and Álvaro Cortés are rising fast, showing that La Masia's future is brighter than ever. What do you think? Will Flick's new approach finally stop Barcelona's injury curse? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest Barcelona news and transfer updates.